What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
Sean.
And we are now live, baby. All right. Technical difficulties, 7 minutes late. You know what? They say better late than never, right? So, with that being said, I have fixed Cody's problem. I am now streaming to both Facebook pages and our YouTube, all in landscape. You can see my beautiful face. You can see his beautiful face.
I don't know about being beautiful.
And now we back, baby. We back. We are back.
We live.
So, Cody, Badlands Paranormal. If you guys don't give him a follow, definitely head on over to their YouTube channel at Badlands Paranormal 12. They've also got a TikTok, Badlands Paranormal. Give them a follow.
Go check them out.
Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
Bam.
Go check them out.
All right. I think we lost all of our people with all of my skirting around tonight.
They'll be back. They might come back.
I deleted it off everywhere, so now nobody can find anything but this stream.
Baby, come back.
I want to thank y'all for the shout outs we brought. Yes.
Woo.
I love it. Gained 146 followers last night. Guys, let's make it another 146 tonight. Let's do it. Breaking the mold.
Outstanding.
I love it.
Effing standing.
Yes. So I'm going to wait for a couple more people to tune in tonight, guys. I am on an organization kick. So I apologize. I should have been more prepared. But I have my big finger here, my retractable finger.
Drink my cup.
True story. The only reason why I have this retractable finger is because I saw it. The guy was pointing out bad drivers on YouTube, and he was tapping his screen, and he was just and so I was like, I need this finger. But now this finger comes in handy because I can cut on this light that's 90 feet above my head that Sean has no problem cutting on. But me, I need a step ladder, 5 gnomes, and some more stuff to get up there. All right. Cody said, I'm excited for Sandusky House. Drove past it today.
Next time you drive past it, man, just pull in the parking lot and just stop and see. There's a lot of history there. Some of the history I can't really talk about, but other history, it's. Let me tell you,
it's deep, man.
It's deep. There's some deep history at that place, and I'll tell you that I don't know how to put it. You go in there and you can't. It doesn't. You don't get a bad feeling with Sandusky. I've never been nervous. I've walked through the whole place, just me and Courtney there alone. I guess there's one time. There was one time where I did get kind of nervous. I don't know if you were watching us then, but the door flew open on me, and it was more of a not nervous, scared of ghosts, more, but it was just you heard the door unlatch and fly open. That was kind of wild. You never feel alone in there. It's just a different kind of feeling. You're not scared, but you're always waiting on somebody to just pop around the corner and be like, hello. It's a different feeling. There's a lot of energy left behind. But if you go back in history, the history with that place, y'all get y'all shirts made by Nanny Prims and Decor out in 221. Her name is Kimmy. Go in there and tell her I sent you. I know Kimmy since she was a baby. But Nanny Prims and Decor is who we get all our stuff done by. But shout out Nanny Prims. We always support local here. But if you go in there, it's just, I don't know. But if you think of the history behind that place, 2 people live there. I'll DM you that. The family lived there, and General Hunter straight came in there. Dave Hunter, they called him Black Dave, came in there and just straight took over their house and used it as a headquarters during the Civil War. Or as some people like to call it from around here,
the Silver War.
The Silver War. Actually, I was going to say the War of Northern Aggression, because that's really what it was. They came down here and straight took their house over, and they got booted out of here.
And booted.
So They got kicked out of Lynchburg. Them damn Yankees got kicked right up out of here. Oh, Jubal early kicked them out of here. But yeah, the place is interesting. I'll say that. I'll say that much. It's interesting. It's very, very, very interesting. We've gotten good evidence. We've gotten an apparition in there. Several. Actually, I won't say several. I'm gonna say two to be exact. Two apparitions have been spotted in the house. And y'all know we keep it raw, we keep it real. I wouldn't bullshit you. So like we saw, Chris Mendez from Supernatural Untold Stories was caught one on his phone. I showed it to the guys at Bedford Paranormal, the guys who run Enigma Cons. Most of their team saw it. It was on video. Chris sent it over to me. It's on his TikTok. So if you go over to Supernatural Untold Stories, look at the time he came to Lynchburg and visited. And then if you go to if you ever talk to Howie Odell, Ed Odell, he'll tell you. Also plug y'all
Enigma Cons is awesome,
Enigma
guys.
Con is dope, and if you haven't investigated St. Albans, it's
yep,
cool. Best EVP I ever got was
there. They've got some awesome guest speakers, amazing vendors this year. So yeah, Chris Talley. I just read a book on Early's raid to Washington. Nice. What's the name of the book?
Oh, what's up, Chris? I didn't realize.
What's up, Ariel? Ariel, somebody that you'll also meet at Sandusky, guys.
Ariel's still probably one of the best rookie investigators I ever met. Like for somebody, she came up to me and told me she never investigated before, and it's still hard for me not to believe it. Ariel's probably one of the best first timers I ever met in my life. Ariel's taught me a lot. Yep. But good to see her. Ariel was at Sandusky on investigation. She'll tell you it's pretty a lot of evidence.
Hi, Mama D.
Hey, Mom, I love you. I love you.
Jubal's Raid by Frank Vandiver. I'm gonna have to go check that out. Yeah. Sean's reading a book called The Black Confederates.
Yeah, y'all. I'm explaining this. Y'all know I don't get twisted up on color, but where Google is erasing history, which that's gonna tie into what we're talking about tonight.
Wild shit.
Google's erased in history, and y'all know I'm a reenactor. I got one of my fellow reenactment brothers in here tonight, Mr. Chris Talley. They're trying to say that no black soldiers ever fought in the Confederacy. Like, there was never none. I got a whole book on it.
Cody, you crazy as hell. He said, I want to stop in and show love to the greatest paranormal team ever.
That would not be us.
We love y'all.
I mean, the greatest paranormal team ever would happen to be right there, in my opinion. Right here.
Wait.
Yeah, everything's backwards. Yeah, those two, in my opinion.
My finger came in handy.
That's my favorite team, at least. A lot of people disagree with me. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. But, if anything, no matter what your argument is about them, the Warrens is the reason why we are all here.
Ariel, funny thing about that. If you are free June the 20th, we are going to be having the Creep It Real Festival in Evansburg, PA. It is open and free to the public, guys. It is a nonprofit. We have picked a charity of choice, so shout out to Hi-Ya Nation. But I am currently, I'm going to throw it out there. I don't even care. I'm not even going to hold it a secret. I have been talking to Tanner with Haunt Media, and he and his crew will, fingers crossed, be joining us for Creep It Real. So if you're in this live right now, you guys are the first to hear it. I'm waiting on contract. We are under contract right now, or pending contract rather. And so I am super excited to hopefully welcome Haunt Media to the Creep It Real team. Well, not team, but the lineup. Daryl Paulette, Bedford Paranormal. What's going on, bruh?
Brother Daryl in the house.
My bald-headed brother over here, Daryl.
Hey, don't diss the bald heads. All right.
It's all about the baldness. Embrace the baldness.
It's all about the baldies.
Baldies.
We are the baldies.
Yes, Ariel. So
we're the big bald men.
Fingers crossed on that one. I actually just talked to him today. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so Ariel, I think you would enjoy that. Creep It Real. We've got VIP events both Friday before Creep It Real Festival as well as Saturday, the Creep It Real Festival. Yours truly will be hosting some investigations both Friday and Saturday night. It is located at the Cambria County Old Stone Jail, which is super haunted in Evansburg, Pennsylvania. It is being put on by the lovely ladies of the Doss House. There will be excellent workshops, gallery readings, phenomenal guest speakers, a buttload of vendors I don't even have a number on, and stuff like that. So if you're interested and you can't make it and you're interested in sponsoring the event, please send me a private message. We are still looking for multiple tiers of sponsorship. And okay, so Daryl said the Balboas stick together.
Yo, Daryl.
The Balboa.
Hey, Daryl, we got to stick together.
Yeah, they're cool people,
Ariel. Rocky.
Yeah.
Daryl.
But we've got a few people in here. I've got a few orders of business I want to talk about.
Attention to orders.
Attention to orders. Okay. So tonight's topic, guys, is going to be the Estes Method. But before I jump into that, I'm going to tell this to you guys multiple times.
Tell it.
So for those that are not aware or might not have seen our post, Sean and I have dove off the freaking deep end. We've dove somewhere. I don't know. But we have launched our official online shop. If you have not checked out www.hillcityafterdark.com. This is your complete spiritual protection line. Okay. This is for the investigators on the go, new, intermediate, experienced investigators. It doesn't matter who you are. When you step into a haunted location, you must ground yourself. You must protect yourself. In Sean's lineage, he has multiple root workers. Okay. It's in his blood. So Sean came to me. He said, I want to create spiritual protection items for in the field use as well as in your home use. It's super important that you are grounded, spiritually protected, and cleansed prior to even leaving your home, on site, on the way there, etc. So we've also got some fun stuff on there. We've got some novelty items, but I have crystal charged candles, Florida water, rose water, total peace oil, which is an infused blend. You can put it in your bath. You can put it on your pulse points here, and your temples, just to kind of ground yourself after a long day. If your energy, is feeling heavy, somebody just came into your home, sprinkle black salt on the thresholds to keep negative out. And then, of course, my novelty items. I've got multiple different pillar candles of little ghosties, including our spirit animals, a little ghosty dog and a little ghosty cat. Super cute. But Sean has also, again, we dove off the deep end here, has decided that he wants to give something to the guys in this field. Okay.
The fellas.
All right. So Sean has created a beard balm and a beard oil to help with growth, shine, strength, keep away the flyaways, the stray, scruffly beards,
the smelly
beards. Okay. We want the men to feel like men in the field, etc. You have to start with self-care. Michelle was in my live the other day. Self-care is super important. Okay. Chris Talley, you would be an excellent candidate for this beard balm and beard oil. Every product that we have at www.hillcityafterdark.com has been personally tested. It is spiritually charged, cleansed, and prayed over. It is hand poured, handmade, and all from 100% natural, organic, derived ingredients. So there's no chemicals, no harsh fillers, none of that, guys. So check it out. And leave me some feedback. I mean, even if you don't purchase anything, like sharing it out, feedback, that means the world to us. And here is the announcement part. So everybody knows my website went live, but today at approximately 2 p.m., we did what?
Went live, baby.
We went live, baby, on the TikTok shop. So we are now officially sellers on the TikTok shop. All of our products are also available on TikTok. Okay. So, Daryl, yes, absolutely. We pride ourselves on keeping our prices low. I've now had 2 women reach out to me and they said, "Oh my God, my husband's beard is out of control. I need some of your beard balm." We gave it out to them, and they tested it. They came back and they said to me, and I quote, "The way it smells, I don't know what's in it, but it's kind of turning me on." And I was like, "Yo, it's a beard balm, but
Wow.
hey, if it's turning you on, that means it's working, right?"
And I try to tell people I'm not a great poster boy for beard balm, but what I will tell people is men on my dad's side of the family don't grow facial hair. Like my dad's face looks like a baby's butt. And so
Shauna,
I personally wanted a beard. What's up, Shauna? Shout out to Doss House and Unique
Michelle Wilfong.
With Michelle Wilfong, we live, baby. But I've always wanted to grow facial hair. Since I started using my own product, you can see that I'm starting to grow hairs on my face.
Guys, I'm not even trying to lie to you right now. I've been with this man for over 15 years. He has never had anything on the sides here. Nothing.
And if you don't believe me, go back and look at pictures. If you look at Sean Elliott Jr. on my band page, my music page, for the last 15 years I played music, I have a lot of side profile shots on stage. I've never had hair on my face, never once. And I'm just now, since I've started using the spirit stuff, it's never had hair on my face, never once. And it's not because I shaved it. I don't shave because I have very sensitive skin. So if I take a razor in my face, it immediately will break out. Even when I was in the military, I couldn't shave. I didn't have to. I never had to shave because I never grew hair. But you'll always see like this little patch right here, but I never could grow anything.
But we've gone even deeper with it, guys. Okay. So we decided to target blemishes too. With some of our oils, okay, we wanted to see just what is it going to do? Is it going to break out your skin? What is it going to do? We literally threw ourselves under the bus for y'all. Okay. Sean was in our live the other day. He kept pulling his hat down. He had a zit on his forehead. Okay. He kept pulling.
Do y'all remember that?
It out. So he said, "I wonder what happens if I put this oil like on the zit."
It's not live no more, baby.
So he just started doing it.
Where it was. Where was it?
This is how many days it took for that blemish to completely disappear. 2. Okay. Yes. Beard balm antidote. All right.
You know what? I need to clip that live we were in where I was embarrassed to pull my hat up. I don't know who was in it that was in here now. Do y'all remember that? I'd had a whole big old zit right here that I'd scratched and cut. Usually they scar. You would see it scab over. It's not there no more. And that's from me using the oil.
And I want to throw something out there,
Not the beard oil. That was the rosemary oil.
Yes. I want to throw something out there, too, for those. There is somebody walking up our driveway with a flashlight as we speak.
Let me grab my cordless hole punch.
And I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting distracted because they cut it off when they got to some of my decorations, which is interesting. Yeah.
Get on the camera here.
Wrong house, people. Anyway, I do want to put a couple disclaimers out there, guys, before we jump into our topic for tonight. 1, I've had some weird questions. We're being nosy. Anyway, we're being nosy because it's our property. But yeah, I've had somebody ask me the most random question. Are your products alpha gal friendly? I said, "You're not eating the shit. What?" Come to find out, if somebody has alpha gal, certain products they cannot use on their skin because it absorbs. Okay. So I went and I dug and I dug and I dug. Every single product that I have on our website is 100% alpha gal friendly. 100%. Okay. 2, I got asked if it breaks you out or is good for people.
He was delivering a package.
Oh, okay. Well, he walked all the way up the street Amazon is in full force at 8:30. Snow and ice does not keep Amazon away. Anyway, so it is 100% organic. It is good for sensitive skin. As a matter of fact,
comes straight out of my grandmother's garden.
As a matter of fact, it helps if you have blemishes and stuff like that. So anyway, www.hillcityafterdark.com, or you can also check off and on our TikTok shop. Without further ado, guys, tonight's topic is the Estes Method.
Estes besties.
Okay. Some of you guys might be asking, what the heck? What are you talking about? What is an Estes Method? I'm going to give you the dictionary definition of the Estes Method summarized.
It's in the dictionary?
Summarized, okay? And then we're going to talk about it. The Estes Method. It was it is a technique that aims to establish a two-way communication channel with spirits by utilizing a spirit box, which rapidly scans radio frequencies, creates a white noise, and the white noise is believed to enhance the ability of the spirits to communicate by manipulating the sounds produced. Okay, summarized version. All right, so this is how it works. One investigator, who's referred to as the listener, wears noise-canceling headphones connected to a spirit box. They may also wear a blindfold to eliminate any visual distractions, or reading of lips, or whatever you want to call it. And then another investigator that's known as the observer will ask questions directed at potential spirits. The listener then vocalizes any words or phrases that they hear coming through the spirit box, which could potentially be responses from spirits. Okay. The observer would document the listener's responses, which can then be analyzed for relevance to the questions asked. The primary goal of this method is to create an environment conducive to spirit communication by minimizing external influences. So by utilizing sensory deprivation, the listener can focus solely on the auditory input from the spirit box, which increases the likelihood of receiving meaningful responses from the spirits. Okay. All you need is a blindfold, noise canceling headphones, a spirit box, and 2 people. Okay. So it's gained a lot of popularity in the paranormal community. It's on almost every ghost hunting show that you will watch on TV. It is a unique approach that, like I said, it combines elements of sensory deprivation and technology to explore the unknown. It invites both skeptics and enthusiasts to engage in a quest for understanding the paranormal. So I took to doing some research for you guys. Grand time. Hi, baby.
Hey, Grand time.
Hey, Amy. How you doing, honey?
Hey, Amy.
I hope you guys are surviving this icicle that we're living in. But back to the Estes Method. I took to doing some research and I found out something hilarious. Okay. I found out a few things. 1A, you cannot research where the real Estes Method originated from. Sean, do you know where it originated from?
Well, according to Google now.
No, where did it originate from? Before you give what we're about to say.
What I was taught, what I researched, there was actually a doctor with the last name Estes who used sound deprivation to treat people with a lot of things. And they some guys came up with this method using the spirit box for the paranormal world. But according to Google now, they completely eliminated the doctor part as if he doesn't exist anymore. And now it's just guys who it came up with the name of a park that Estes Park or something like that.
Estes Park, Colorado.
And that's where they got the name Estes from.
They're saying that it originated in 2016, guys. But 2016, 10 years ago.
From what I read, this doctor's been around a long time. And now you can't find any trace of the doctor anymore. Which Google has been famous for taking out history and changing it. It's almost like the Mandela effect. It's like, you researched and read years ago one thing, and then Google and the internet has changed everything. So now if you want to learn something, you have to refer to a book or a manual or something that was written prior to AI and Google taking over everything.
Now, for the investigators that are in here, did you guys hear about Dr. Estes, like who created this method? Like, did you guys ever hear that? Let me know in the comments. The reason I'm asking is because there is absolutely no research that points back to a Dr. Estes. They're saying that this is a new, fairly new method just developed within the last 10 years by a group of paranormal investigators that were investigating the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. And then they said, oh, well, we're in Estes Park. Let's call it the Estes Method.
But that's simply not true because they were practicing sound deprivation and not sound deprivation, but sensory deprivation since the 1800s. They were doing that back when the mediums would go blindfold and do their readings and stuff like that in the 1800s.
Now, I took to AI, and what I found on AI was exactly the same as Google. These 3 said investigators went into the Stanley Hotel, 2016, Estes Park, Colorado, said, hey, let's blindfold ourselves and listen to the spirit box and see if we get a different response. Okay. And now AI is actually saying that George Estes is actually a parody. It was completely fake. He was into paranormal lore, is what they call it. It involved a fictional 1980s investigator by the name of George Estes, and some creators use this character as the origin story, but he is not even a real person. Okay. The Spiricom connection in the late 70s, there were 2 researchers out there, George Meek and Bill O'Neill. They claimed to communicate with a spirit that they called Dr. George Jeffries Mueller because this was an early form of ITC. People sometimes conflate these early doctors of the field with more modern methods. But Project Stargate and Gansfeld, the Estes method is based on the Gansfeld effect, a sensory deprivation technique that was used in parapsychology labs by actual doctors, including Dr. Charles Honorton in the 1970s to test for ESP. While they didn't use spirit boxes, their scientific blindfold and white noise setup is a direct ancestor of the Estes method. So, with that being said, there are 3 people out there that went and investigated the Stanley Hotel, pretty much probably were going down the rabbit hole of the Gansfeld and Stargate and Project Stargate and stuff like that. And they were like, oh, I've got this idea. And then now they've been pegged and given credit for creating the Estes method. Okay.
Which is simply great, which is crazy.
So it is a common misconception that it should be named after a doctor because all these methods like should be official, right? But unfortunately, they're saying that it originated in the snowy mountains of Colorado by 3 people that were investigating.
What if this was around before they ever did that?
I believe it was. Okay. I believe it was. But Amy said something right here that I want to touch on. She said, I've never been a big fan of the spirit box. And true story, Amy, I wasn't either. I wasn't either. And for those of you that have been following us for a really long time, my 2025 New Year's resolution was to utilize a new piece of equipment each time I investigated and get used to it. I was 100% just a REM pod cat ball girl. Like I didn't like anything else. Didn't like dowsing rods. Didn't like spirit box. Couldn't stand the spirit box. All the spirit box was to me was a bunch of freaking hoopla, a bunch of noise. Okay. So what I did is I researched it. I researched what frequency is best to listen to for somebody like myself that suffers from like ADHD and I don't like having sensory deprivation. So what is the best way to do that? So I want to talk for a second, Sean, because there is more than one way to skin a cat, right? So do I just go and get a blindfold and some noise canceling headphones and a spirit box and I'm good to go? Or are there other ways to participate in said Estes method?
There's a lot of ways to participate in it, but before I talk about it, I'll let you talk. I got a lot to say about that. and spirit boxes.
Let's talk about it.
So we'll start here.
Talk about it. I got the finger.
We'll start here. The common number one thing I see. First of all, I don't trust the Estes method unless I'm the one under. So unless I'm the one that's under the Estes method, I don't believe it. I don't trust it. For several reasons. Number one, if you're doing a real investigation, let's say I'm doing casework. Let's say you get a call from a random person that says, "Hey guys, I have some weird stuff going on in my house. I want you to come into my house because I've got the weirdest stuff going on. I'm hearing knocks, noises, and voices all day long, and I can't sleep at night. It's keeping me up, and I need y'all to come and tell me if my house is really haunted or am I going crazy?" All right. And let's say we break out the Estes method. First of all, I wouldn't rely on a spirit box to determine whether a house is haunted. The first thing I'm going to check for is EMF, and we'll talk about that too. But let's say we use the Estes method. Unless I'm under and I hear what's being said on the spirit box, I don't trust anybody else's evidence other than mine.
So why do you have a team?
All right, good question. I have a team. At that point, I would go in with a team because each individual person has a job to do. And each individual person has evidence which can be proven out in the open beyond shadow of a doubt of what something is. If there's any reasonable doubt, it's just like court. If there's any doubt in something going on, I can't use it as evidence. I can't go on something you said that I didn't hear, see, and can prove for myself. When it comes to paranormal, we can't rely on something you said. It has to be something that everybody can hear and see. It's kind of like when I have an EVP. If it's not a clear class A voice that's being heard, and it's one of those class B or C, I could hear, hey, you could hear no, and Joe could hear bye. It has to be something that's very clear. If it's something that you hear in your headphones and not something that's spoken out loud, who knows what you heard during that Estes method?
Okay.
Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is the number one mistake I see every team make that I've seen do it is they're not using true noise canceling headphones. When we go out, and I'm not saying we're perfect or above anybody, and I'm not downing any team, but the mistake I see is everything that you've read, everything that I've researched is this. The number one mistake I see is, and I'm sure I'm going to make a lot of people uncomfortable and upset, and I haven't read any comments, but the number one thing I see is if you're not using true noise canceling headphones, how do I know you didn't hear something that was said? Whenever we have done an Estes method, the noise canceling headphones that we use are battery powered, and they have a button on them that does cancel the noise, where you can't hear anything outside of what's going on in those headphones. So if you're using regular headphones that don't have that noise canceling in it, I cannot assure 100% that you didn't hear something that was said.
Okay, so Shauna's got a question directed at you.
All right, this doesn't hit right, man. If you're not trusting everyone else and what they get, either seen, heard intelligently, why is your way the only one that counts what you heard wrong? That's a good question. It's not that my way is the only right way. What I'm saying is I've always functioned on, when it comes to paranormal, the only evidence that I can go on is what I see and hear for myself when it comes to proving the evidence. Now, Courtney I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. That may have came out wrong. So you and I investigated Poorhouse Road Tunnel.
We did.
You and Emily has, all right, so I'll break it down and explain to Sean. So we investigated Poorhouse Road Tunnel. I was with Lost Souls, Emily and Chris, who I trust. I like them. If I investigate with you more than once, it probably means I like you, and it probably means I have some trust in what you tell me. Courtney and Emily walked ahead of me. They said they saw a person in the woods climb up a hill.
No, it wasn't a person.
Or something.
The hoe on the hill.
It was a person, what appeared to be a person with dark colored eyes, turn and look at them crawling up a hill. I believe Courtney when she said that. I 100% believe Courtney actually appeared startled. Emily appeared to be startled. They both took off running past me. I wasn't about to run because my big ass can't afford to fall and get hurt. So I believe that they saw something. Can I go and present that as evidence to the local residents in the house and say, hey, there's something on that hill? Can I prove beyond a shadow of a doubt by their word that something happened? I cannot. I cannot go, they cannot go on our word alone. But if they had a video that everyone can see that somebody was standing on that hill that wasn't there, that's hardcore evidence of somebody standing on a hill. So you're right. It's not relevant to the Estes, but it is, because if we're doing a case where I'm trying to prove to a homeowner what was said or what was done, because if she has on noise, if she has on headphones, and I'm trying to prove to them that there's Joe, as the ghost of Joe Smith is in the house, and we're asking questions, and she says, Joe, I heard Joe just now. How does that homeowner know that she really heard that? He doesn't know.
So what you're trying to say is you can't prove what the listener is actually hearing in their ear.
Right.
Because you can't hear it yourself.
Right. You have no idea what's going on in that headset. So what I'm saying is the Estes method is cool, but unless I can hear it myself, I have no idea. I can't hardcore prove anything. It's a court case. If we go in court and you're the plaintiff and I'm the defendant, then you say, I saw Sean walk out that store, but nobody else saw me walk out the store. Nobody else saw me do something. That's not enough evidence to say that Sean walked out the store. But if you have me on camera walking out the store at 10 o'clock, then that's hardcore evidence against me that I can't deny. I walked out the store.
So I do want to address Shauna's comment right here. She said, but if you're the one that heard it, then it's fact. I'm not even defending Sean right now. I kind of understand where he's coming from. And then I'm gonna get to Amy's comment in a second, and then Daryl's comment. But Sean does not do the Estes method for this reason.
Right. I don't do the
He doesn't
method.
Ever do the Estes method, because he says that it doesn't make any sense that we are sitting around and hoping that the person behind the headphones is telling the truth. Okay. Now, with that being said, Amy said, but you have to put trust in your teammates. I do 100% agree with that comment.
And to be honest with you, and let's talk about the trust in the team. I'm the first one to preach trust your team, and I do trust my team. We handpicked our team. We didn't just go out here and throw a fishing rod out and say, all right, you want to investigate? You want to investigate? I will list off my team. Chad Dalton, I've known since 8th grade. He went to high school with me. He's a sheriff. He's a police officer. And I've known Chad. I've partied with Chad back in the day. Known Chad Dalton forever. Chuck Whitby was my bass player of 13 to 14 years. I've known Chad for Chuck for a long time. Chuck is my right-hand man, was my right-hand man in the band when I had a problem, if I needed advice, if I needed somebody just to talk to. And outside the band, Chuck and I hung out. We worked on cars together. Carrie, his wife, was my sound guy in the band. She traveled with us to every single show, was with me when I went to Nashville for the first time. I trust her very well. Courtney, of course, we don't need to talk about that because we know where she was. And then the new girl, Jessica, was on a waiting list for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, to get on our team. And we've done extensive talking and research. Do I know her personally? No. But she wasn't someone we just went out and got because we needed an extra member. She not only waited for us, but we waited for her as well. And we had a lot of back and forth conversation. So my team, I can say I trust them. However, when it comes to paranormal, you have to, when you're proving something such as paranormal, it's got to be beyond a reasonable doubt to have evidence. The mistake I see a lot of teams making is that a K2 light goes off and they're saying it's paranormal. Anything that happens comes out and it's paranormal. What happened to putting out hardcore evidence? Yes, we like to have fun. Don't get me wrong. When we go to the pay-to-play places, it's not that serious. And Shauna, let's see, Shauna, who else commented? A couple of you have investigated with me and see it's not that serious when I investigate in a pay-to-play place. It's not. Courtney will tell you it's not that serious. It's not. I have plenty of fun. Just as goofy as you see me here is just as goofy as I am when I investigate. However, if I have casework that I'm doing and someone is really reaching out to me for help, I don't play when it comes to that. I really want that person to rest well and know, hey, your place is not haunted. Your TV, your old TV you're putting out really is pushing too much EMF. Your alarm clock is messed up. You have loose, bad wiring in your house. You have EMF poisoning. You're not having a haunting. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's not about trust in your team. It's about putting out real evidence versus a K2's going off too much. That's why we're getting paranormal activity. The Estes method and during an investigation doesn't necessarily prove paranormal activity. Why not use a regular spirit box that could possibly everybody can hear so everybody can see that evidence together?
So Shauna said, I hear you 1,000,000%, but your direct statement of my evidence is the only evidence I trust completely eliminates the need for a team. Again, I love y'all, just my opinion, and my job is to challenge you because, well, you do me. So
I
learning
love it,
is
Shauna.
endless with extraordinary investigators.
Shauna, you know I love you, and of course I love a good challenge. However, the one thing I've always relied on is you always trust your nothing unless you can get it yourself. You always trust your your stuff. It's not that I don't trust my team's evidence. I'll give you a case in point. Courtney, y'all know, those of y'all who've watched and known me for a while, know that I hate a REM pod. I'm not a fan of it. I've owned several of them. Shauna, you've investigated with me. Daryl Paulette's investigated with me. How often, when I reach in my bag of tools, do I reach and grab for a REM pod? Never. I own several of them. Courtney is the first thing she grabs because she loves them. Courtney and I investigated at what's that place in Virginia Beach? Berry Plantation. She got the most incredible evidence I've ever seen in my life with a REM pod. She told me what happened. I looked at her and was like, really? You got that? Show me. When she showed me what she got, I was like, wow, that's great evidence. I believed her when she told me, but I wanted to see it for myself. It's not that I didn't trust her, but I still wanted to see it. Now, think about this. Just suppose something happened when Courtney got her evidence. And I'll tell you what happened. What happened was she got her REM pod went off. She did the knock thing that everybody investigator does, including me, because I love doing that, right?
Hey, Cheryl.
She did the knock thing. And instead of something knocking back, her REM pod did that exact same sequence. Knock, knock, the knock, 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 knock. It did the same beeping sequence on the REM pod. I've never seen a REM pod do that. I even tried to come home, set the REM pod up and make it do it, and I couldn't do it. And so, but I wanted to see it. Now, suppose Courtney mistaken that or it didn't go right. And I went and told everybody it did that. And then we pulled the tape and the REM pod really didn't do that. Let's just suppose that happened. She made a mistake and the REM pod didn't do that. Now, everybody, my whole team looks bad because I didn't check behind that and make sure that happened. It's not about not trusting a team. It's about always making sure you're presenting real factual evidence. There's also nothing wrong with checking behind your team. And that's also a part of being a leader and leadership. You always should be checking behind your team. We as an effective team should be checking behind each other. I expect Shauna, you, Miss Rigsby, to be checking behind
Miss Rigsby.
To be checking behind me at all times like you're doing now.
HBIC.
Which you have. If I had gotten evidence when we investigated the Doss house, you've checked behind me on my equipment before when we got the fog that night.
Shauna checked behind us on her security cameras.
Yeah, and I love it.
Shauna.
It's not that you didn't trust what I was doing. It wasn't that you did. It was an unfamiliar piece of equipment to you, but you asked me all the time.
A BBC.
Oh, you must have watched me when I took my pants off in the house.
Shauna.
Did you watch me when I was changing in the house? I didn't go to the bathroom. That's right. I was tired and I took my pants off in the house. You saw what I was working
done.
with.
I am done for tonight.
Yeah, but to
Done.
be honest,
Stick a fork in me.
if I misspoke on what I was saying,
HBIC.
if I misspoke on what I was saying about trust, y'all, I check behind my team with evidence because my team is so close. And again, my team is handpicked, and I've known these guys for everyone on my team except one person for 10 years plus. So
in a nutshell, what you're trying to say is there are a lot of flaws in the Estes method.
It's a lot of flaws, and if I'm going to present evidence, I'm going to try to present evidence that cannot be debunked. And that's my only thing. With the Estes method, it walks that line of, if I'm going to present it to a stranger, and this is how I try to present my evidence. If I'm going to present it to a stranger, I want them to say, I can't debunk that. I want it to be undebunkable evidence. And if you even go to my TikTok video, when I present the little evidence that we get, I have files and files. I've got memory cards full of evidence that I don't put out there. But when I want to post my little fun TikTok videos, you'll see that it's evidence that's undebunkable. You can look at them and try to debunk them, and you can challenge me on them, and that's fine. But it's hard to debunk them because I want to present decent evidence. And some people even say, well, why do you care what people think? And it's not that I don't care what people think, but it's a person in the field who's trying to preserve the field and get people more interested in the field. I want to show people that, hey, there is life on the other side. That's one reason why I became an investigator, was because I want to prove life on the other side. I'm looking at the science and the reason behind what's going on. Are things moving because there's a draft? Even if you were to cut all of the HVAC off in your house, those pipes that's still running in your ceiling still create a draft. They still suck and blow air. And people don't realize that. People are like, well, I cut the power off. There shouldn't be no air circulating, but it is. There's still drafts all through your house. There's still stuff going on. But if we don't get down to the science of things, you won't understand paranormal. If you take science out, you won't. And sometimes it gets that serious if you're doing casework. Now, if you're doing the pay-to-play places, who some of you have investigated with me, I don't get that serious. And y'all have seen that. But the number one thing I see teams doing wrong, and it tells you clear as day when you did your Google search, if you read about it, the noise canceling headphones. You cannot effectively do Estes method without it. Some people say, well, I can't hear nothing even, and I don't have noise canceling headphones. You say that, but you take an investigator like me who talks loud anyway, you still hear me, because I hear people talking all the time when I'm doing the Estes method and I'm using somebody else's earphones. I still hear bits and pieces of what you're saying. And I've done the Estes method myself just to try it out. I've done the blindfold thing. I even have goggles that show pictures and images called Ghost Tube, which I think is cool. I had fun doing it, but I hate the Estes method. I don't like it.
What's up, Terry, with NSPS TV? What's going on? What's going on?
Just my 2 cents, y'all.
So, Sean, I do want to touch on this really quick, guys, because I know Sean's caught a lot of heat for what he said.
I love it.
But
I like the heat.
There are, I will say, a lot of flaws that could happen.
You like the Estes, don't you?
I do, actually. And I'm going to tell you why. Shauna put a comment way up yonder that said, once you grow confidently in the field, you get more comfortable utilizing other pieces of equipment. And that resonates because that was me. I was very much so 1 or 2 pieces of equipment only. I was scared to try not scared. That's a bad word. I wasn't scared to try it. I just wasn't versed on how to use it. The more you know. Okay. Anyway, I wasn't like educated. There it is. That's the word I'm looking for. I wasn't educated on how to use certain pieces of equipment. Like, I grew up on the ghost shows where you're walking around with a K2 like this. Okay. And so I thought that's how you used a K2 until somebody said, hey, I made you a personalized K2 holder so you can go hands free. And I'm like, bet hands free. That's awesome. So I stuck the K2 in the holder and kept it moving. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw it kind of spike up. And so then I started utilizing it in a different formality. Okay. I wasn't, just walking around. And whenever I came across a K2 spike, I was like, oh shit, there's paranormal activity right here. I actually utilized it in the sense of, if that's you that's really making that green light go to red, can you do it again? Right. So, okay. So, Chris, that's a good question. I'll get to that as well. Dowsing rods. Dowsing rods right now are my absolute least favorite piece of equipment. That right there is the most flawed piece of equipment out there. Okay. Even more flawed than the Estes method. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. You 1A, if you drink caffeine, which 90% of paranormal investigators do, you're automatically botched using your dowsing rods. Okay. 2B, psychologically, when you are holding something in your hand, your brain this, and then when you concentrate, your brain is actually like messing with your nervous system, and you will inadvertently have spontaneous jerks or movement that would cause the dowsing rods to cross or open. Okay. I also 3 do not like the dowsing rods because I've seen them be abused in the field by people. I've literally been on an investigation that I had to fix my face and shut my mouth because it was not my investigation. I watched these people, okay, physically holding a pair of dowsing rods and go like this when they asked them to cross, and like this when they asked them to open. And I see you, you see me, see you. And you're still doing this shit on a public event because you feel like you have to sell it.
Well, we missed one at Badlands.
No, she's responding to Badlands somewhere. I personally will bust them out if I have nothing better to do with myself, I guess. I don't know. Most recently, I had a very odd experience with a set of dowsing rods. So odd that I handed it to another person to see if it happened to them, and another person to see if it happened to them, and then a third person to see if it happened to them. It happened to all 4 of us. And I was just like, okay, that's weird. So I'll tell you what it is. I was at the historic Rainworth Lodge. I had thrown everything I had at these spirits, and they were being a little on the quiet side, is what I like to say. And so, having had a case on this location for 3+ years, I knew that the child spirits that were in there do get nervous and won't come forward as much around people they don't know. So I very quickly put my mom voice on. That's what I call it. And I said, guys, there's no need to like be afraid, right? These are my friends. I brought them in here. They'd love to meet you. I know that I'm asking a lot type deal. So I'm going to hold these sticks in my hand. If you're in here, can you please just come over here and give me kind of a sign that you're here by either crossing the rods or opening the rods? Okay. I was so proud of myself, y'all. I was sitting as still as I could be. These rods had not moved for like 10 minutes. Right as soon as I said that, something tried to jerk the left rod out of my hand. So much so that I actually threw the rods down because it was startling. I contemplated very briefly about getting in my car and driving all the way back to Virginia and leaving Sean. But then I got intrigued. I was like, wait a second. That did not just freaking happen, right? And so I picked the rods back up and I asked him to do it again, and nothing happened. So immediately I had that self-doubt that we all suffer from. And I said, that shit did not just happen. Hold up. So at this moment, I look up and I see Chris with Lost Souls PI sitting across from me, and his jaw is dropped. And he's like, did somebody just jerk that rod like out of your hand? And I'm like, I don't know. You try, you know? So I give him the dowsing rods and he has a similar experience. So much so that he said, okay, that was enough for me. And he passes them to his wife, Emily. Okay. Emily then at that point grabs the rods for a brief moment and the right rod on her jerks down as though somebody like hit it like this, right? And so Emily's like, okay, I'm done. And that was their first experience with poltergeist like activity. I've been in that location multiple times. That location's hot for it. I just think that I wasn't mentally prepared for that to happen with a set of dowsing rods. So that would have to be the only odd experience that I've ever had. I have sat there in multiple locations and asked spirit to cross and open. Another one, Shauna, are you still in here? Let me know in the comments because I'm going to put another really cool dowsing rod experience out there. Let me catch up on some things. So you know how the field has always been pushed to use metal rods? Well, this is a natural conductor of energy. So that is a no-no for me. I was just about to get there too. My mom pushed to use plastic, and that's what we use. Plastic or anything that is not a conductor of energy. Perfect. I was just about to talk about that as well.
That's a good point, Shauna.
Okay. Daryl said, I agree. I'm not a fan of dowsing rods, but both my kids work on the pipeline and I have seen them find utilities. So they do work on some things. I'm not sure about paranormal.
I agree with that.
Okay. Father Geist.
What's up, Father Geist?
Okay. I have never been a fan of dowsing rods. I remember investigating with someone once and they tore me a new one for not owning some. Claimed I wasn't a ghost hunter without them. Well, golly gee.
That's bullshit.
Okay. If you have a cell phone, you're a ghost hunter.
That's right.
Okay. Shauna is still in the comments. So I'm going to put this experience out there. Her and Danielle were with us at the historic Appomattox jail. A lot of the time when we have a group of people of the opposite gender, okay, we will split off. So we girls went upstairs. The guys did their thing. Okay. So we're upstairs and I physically watched interaction with a set of dowsing rods and Danielle that I thought was super compelling. But again, that really is something that I am one of those, like that's something if you're not holding them, you really don't know. But then again, you really don't know. So, but I watched Danielle and she was holding these rods for so long, my arms got tired. And then she said, I feel like somebody just came into the room. I can't remember if she said it was like a young woman. I feel like she said a young woman. And so she said, you know, she was communicating with said spirit. And she said, if you're now in here, can all the other spirits step aside? And can you just come forward and let me know that you're here and cross the rods? And the rods very slowly, like very, 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 very slowly crossed. And then they stayed that way until she asked said spirit to open and return to center is the wording that she uses, return to center. And so she returns to center and it was like molasses in the wintertime did these things like barely open back up. So at that point, I'm more compelled to say that that's more convincing than I swear to you guys, and I'm going to say it live. If I hear one more damn investigator say, if you're in here with me, can you give me a hug? And the dowsing rods flip around and whack them in the damn head.
Yeah.
What?
Y'all stop it.
Okay.
Especially when you never set that intention.
Right. What? And these dowsing rods be wilding out. I've seen people wild out. Like,
especially when I see you doing this, I'm going to start calling people out on it.
Okay.
Stop it.
So dowsing rods, yes. David Mason, DNA Racing, shout out. And
What's up,
DNA
David?
Karaoke. Amy said, I believe the dowsing rods can be manipulated in a lot of different ways. I don't really trust them. And thank you both for making me look like a putz for bringing up two pieces of equipment I don't like. Yes, Father Guys, that's a bunch of bullshit. And whoever said that, you don't need that negativity in your life. Goodbye. On to the next one.
Get it out of here.
Kick them out.
Get it out.
Lock them up. All right. All you need to be a ghost hunter is a good phone, curiosity, and a healthy dose of skepticism to keep you grounded.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Kudos to you. That's fantastic. You do have to have a very healthy balance of skepticism, ghost hunter, and scientist. Okay. All three. Put them all in the pot, stir them up, and poof, out pops a paranormal investigator. Okay. So Shauna said this is where trusting your people plays a huge part in all this, knowing they would not fake or pretend evidence. Correct, Shauna.
Is Shauna still trying to send shots at
Shauna
me?
is sending shots at you, baby.
I never said I don't trust anybody.
You actually, your exact words were,
I said
you don't
I
trust anybody's evidence but your own.
but my own. Right. I have to see it for myself to present it. I'm not saying that I don't take anybody's word. If people tell me they saw a ghost, I believe they saw a ghost. If somebody says they saw something, Sean, I'm calling you after this, by the way. If somebody says that they heard something or saw something, I believe they heard or saw something. But I cannot. The only evidence I can present is something that's beyond a reasonable doubt. That's all I'm saying.
Father Geist, I love this. I tell people on my show all the time, and drop your show in the link, by the way. I tell people all the time, if you go into a building expecting ghosts, you're going to find them. The brain wants to fill gaps and solve the unknown. Bam. We were supposed to be talking solely about the Estes Method, guys, but then people like Father Geist come to the table and bring up phenomenal topics. Okay. Our human brain is designed to play tricks on us. How many times have we cut off the lights, gotten in the bed, gotten ready for bed, and a big MFer is standing in the corner? You blink and he's gone. Why? Because our brains are wired to literally see shit. Okay? It's called pareidolia. I cannot tell you how many times, if I am tired, and I've done a lot of investigations where I've worked my 8-hour shift, driven 4 or 5 hours to an investigation, downed a copious amounts of caffeine, and then investigated all night long until I just couldn't investigate anymore. About 2 a.m., I start seeing shit that doesn't make sense to me. So then I won't call it out. I'm not going to call it out because I cannot at that point truly decipher if it's my brain playing tricks on me and creating pareidolia because I want so badly. And this happens in a lot of locations, guys, that are slow. Okay. So you want so badly and you're staring down the dark hallway, and the dark hallway, mind you, that everybody sees the shadow figure in and stuff like that. That's why a lot of investigators enjoy or prefer going into locations blindly, because they don't want to have that what do you call it? Clouded image of what could potentially be.
Or they don't want to expect anything.
Right. Expectations. So a lot of people will say, I don't want to hear anything about the location. I'm going in blind.
I just want to know the history.
I want to know the history behind a location. I want to know who died here. Was somebody murdered here? Did this happen? Was there a war, a battle fought on this land, Indian burial grounds? Like, I want to know the history of your location. But
I want to go to the left for a minute.
I also kind of want to know the evidence that other people get too. Just because if it aligns with what I end up getting throughout the night, then I know that I could potentially be onto something. Okay. So Shauna said BBC is here for it. Give her a call. All right. But when two of us see it, Chris, yes. Okay.
Well, that's where I wanted to go with it.
Yep.
So like, I'll give an example because Shauna keeps getting on me about the trust thing. I'll say this again. I trust my team. Again, my team is people that were handpicked.
You don't trust shit.
That I know for everybody. But when it comes to evidence, keyword evidence, you have to, when it comes to paranormal, you have to be able to prove your evidence. It depends on what you're in the field for. What kind of team do you have? What is your reason behind investigating? Is it a weekend warrior? Do you go to pay to play? Or are you trying to prove life beyond the grave? What exactly are you doing? Are you studying something? It all has to do.
Look, Shauna's essentially saying, shut up.
No, Shauna, no, I don't let it go. I'm going to prove my point. I'm going to get it out.
It's going to be the biggest point.
And the best point that we have. All right. So it goes back to.
The orange man has spoken.
It goes, the shaman.
The shaman has spoken.
It goes back to everything I was saying. It goes back to the investigation at Rainworth. And I talk about Rainworth because that's probably one of the most haunted places I've been in. And before anybody checks me on that one, I've been to a lot of haunted places. A lot of them I've been to Tala. I've been to a lot of places.
I've been to a lot of places.
I've been to a lot of the most haunted locations. All right. And so it goes back to it like when I was with Mendez and I was in the phone call that came through. I just told you guys that Chris called me while he was snoring and I heard his voice and he talked to me. Most people would assume, well, either you were sleeping yourself, you dreamed that it didn't happen. You know, if Courtney wasn't laying beside me when it
cussing
happened,
him out,
she might not. She might have been like, "Well, Sean, were you sure you weren't asleep? Were you sure he wasn't just sleep talking?" If that wasn't on video of him snoring, it could have anything could have been misconstrued. I even questioned myself some of my evidence.
And then he came forward and said, "What?
What?
By the way, I had a camera rolling on me all night.
I had a camera rolling on me. It's evidence. It's physical evidence that can be proven beyond a shadow of doubt." In the blacksmith shop, some of you may have been watching when I had something trying to take over me. Had I not had a camera rolling, I wouldn't have seen when I thought Chris was the one who had his face doing weird stuff and mumbling. If I hadn't had a camera, and I told everybody Chris's face, I went back. That was the first thing I told everybody was, "Yo, you should have seen Chris's face. It was doing all kind of crazy stuff." Had I not had a camera rolling, I wouldn't have realized it was really me doing. That's me telling everybody about what was going on, and I was completely wrong. That thank God there was a camera rolling, and everything was completely backwards. It was me actually doing all that stuff. Thank God there was a camera there to back the evidence or to show that I was wrong that time, and I've been wrong many a times during the investigation. But that's why we have things that show beyond a shadow of a doubt of what's going on. So it's not about not trusting a team. It's not about not trusting anything. But when it comes to evidence, you have to be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt of what's going on. And it goes the same way in law.
Well, damn. Father Guy said, when I was looking for new team members, I told them of a haunted road. I gave them all this information, told them when we were doing the hunt, everything I fed them was fake. Quick research job. Well, damn. Look, guys, hazing is real. Yeah. Would have shown all of that, but they came to the investigation unprepared, and me and my buddy played out the fake scenario. They ran like babies. I would rather have no activity during an investigation over someone lying for entertainment purposes. That's not what my group investigates for. If we want entertainment, we have game night.
Yeah, when it comes to trusting your team, I trust my team that when I bring out my thousands of dollars worth of equipment, that every piece is going to be put back the way I had it, or not put back the way I had it, because nobody's going to put it back the way I had it. But it's going to all be there when I go to look for it. I have that kind of trust in my team because, again, my bass player and my sound guy are two of my team members. And they put my equipment up, and I haven't lost a piece of it yet. My manager, when I was in the band, is on my team. I don't have nothing to worry about with my equipment.
I am the first person you blame when your shit is misplaced.
Right, because here's what happens.
No, here's what
happens. I have a box specifically for cameras, right?
No.
Specifically for cameras. And my camera will end up where all my other equipment goes. Like that's why I blame Courtney.
I don't put none of your shit away
anymore. Thank God.
Never did.
Thank God. So yeah, I have that kind of trust in my team. I have trust that if my team says they were touched in the room, in a different room, I'll go in that room because I believe they were really touched there. But I can't present what they said to me to somebody.
So you're saying is you don't not believe people. You just can't present the evidence unless you have hardcore on camera, see it with your own two eyes, Ronnie Anderson evidence.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why I said with the Estes method, I don't like it.
Y'all are besties, Grand Time. I love it.
They are. Grand Time's group is phenomenal. But that's all I'm saying is that when we were talking about the Estes method, unless I hear it myself, I don't know what was really said.
And that's a fact,
especially with a spirit box,
I see you, Amy. If we get a spot.
If you hear a spirit box, listen to a spirit box, and this will tie all this together. If you listen to a spirit box in a room full of people and a word comes through, how many people in the room will actually agree on the word most of the time? None. So, right. So if you hear,
same with EVPs, guys.
So if you hear the word, I don't know, food in the spirit box,
no,
I don't know you really heard that.
Get out.
It could have really said something else. So that's what I'm saying. If you heard food, but I heard something, but it really said, I don't know, rude, you could have heard that wrong and said that. I can't present that evidence. It might not be what it even said. So it's not about not trusting your team. It's about physical evidence. Now, if that same word had it came through on camera where everybody heard it, I could put it in my computer, process it, slow it down, and we both would agree, oh, it didn't really say food, it said rude.
But check this out, guys.
That's where I was going with that. I'm still calling Shauna. Daryl. I'm taking my shoes off.
Shoes?
Daryl.
Where are you going?
I don't wear hey dudes. Okay.
Look at what is this?
I don't wear hey dudes.
The size of this is massive. This right here, I'm presenting for evidence.
I don't wear hey
I need everybody right now.
These aren't hey dudes.
What is this?
I was in the snow.
Get your yellow pepper steppers out of my face.
I was in
Get out.
I was in the snow. And these aren't that big.
Those are massive. Put it back up here. Put it back up here. Pick it up. Guys.
My foot is not that big.
Guys. Look at this. 0 cents. 0 cents. I'm not. What?
You making fun of my feet? Y'all see how I get abused?
Those are ant stompers. Y'all got ants? I got a bug killer.
I don't wear hey dudes.
Done. I will always get slightly irritated with ghost shows and videos that do spirit box, and they always put captions of what they think the box said. Check this out.
And it's always different than what you hear.
Part 2 is coming soon because psychologically, guys, I will refer back to, I'm glad you brought this up. I've had cars. Yes, Grand Time. That thing is massive. Get it out of my face.
Y'all making fun of my feet now?
Yes. Big ass ant stompers.
I got a normal size foot.
I want to address that really quick.
It's a normal man size foot.
All I know is Becky doesn't call me Ronnie Anderson.
Oh.
Becky also doesn't call you late for dinner.
Never even
all right.
calls me by
With that being said, before we wrap it up, your feet are proportionate. So Amy calling you big.
I'm a big guy. I'm a big dude.
All right. I do want to touch on this, guys, because we're running out of time. But Father, guys, I would love to have you on our show one time. I want to talk about this comment right here.
Put that hand away.
I know. We'll take that off for me and then I won't have to play with the hand.
What is that?
The cap. Anyway, there's a quiz that goes around, guys, and I will find it personally and post it on our page. Okay. And it says, read the word out loud, how you read it, and it will be written in green font, and it will be the word blue. Okay, BLUE written in green font. Your brain will literally decipher what you read over what you see quicker. So, with that being said, those captions on those videos will make you literally hear what you read. Okay. So they'll say the word to you on this quiz and they'll be like green. It's written blue. And then it'll say, what do you hear? And you automatically will hear, or will say blue, even though the color that they're looking for is green. Does that make sense? Because you saw the word blue, you read the word blue, and even though they're looking for the answer to be the color green, because you read it, your brain processes visual before it processes auditory or something like that. Yeah, I think so. I think I have that right. So that's really interesting that you said that. Like, it's the power of suggestion. Your shoe is so in my way. Why was it so heavy? I really thought it was going further than that. When we did a spirit box, we would write down what we thought the box said and share later when going over evidence. That's a good idea. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you.
Amy said she did not call you big. She just said you're proportionate.
Oh, I'm big. 380 pounds.
All right. It's like I said earlier. Our brain is built to fill in blanks when faced with the unknown, being afraid of the dark, empty spaces, etc. We just can't process and want to fix it. Oh, I process empty, dark spaces. The boogeyman's over there. He's in there. But tying this all the way back to the Estes Method, guys, there are, before I wrap it up, ways that you can have fun, conduct an Estes Method, and get potential evidence. Okay. One is isolation. Okay. Not only sensory deprivation, but isolation. Stick your team member with a camera on them, noise canceling headphones, blindfolded in one room, and go to an opposite room and don't shout the question, are there any ghosts in here? Don't shout it. Literally whisper it. If there's any spirits in here, like, can you go over to my friend that's 2 doors down and let her know what your name is so we know who we're communicating with? Something like that, to the point where even if they did not have noise canceling headphones on, even if everything was botched, they still hear that really annoying static noise. So they're not going to hear you whispering 2 doors down, right? So there's ways to do that. I've seen dual Estes methods be done where you have 2 listeners back to back and a questioner rather, asking a question and see if the answers coincide. I've seen some pretty compelling evidence behind dual Estes method. Okay. I've actually witnessed where spirits are communicating with each other amongst the 2 listeners, as opposed to actually directly answering the questioner. So that's pretty neat. Spirit box listening takes a lot of skill. It really does. If you are somebody that has or suffers from a condition like ADHD or, auditory issues, I do not recommend it unless you can really honestly, like, almost take yourself out of the situation and ground yourself. It takes a lot of focus, a lot of energy, and it's very draining. I am a firm believer in grounding yourself and really just gaining focus prior to doing the Estes method. We are not sitting here saying that you should never do the Estes method because it is kind of interesting. Again, if you know that you're passing true noise canceling headphones to somebody and their back is to you, they're blindfolded, and you're, I feel like one of those ASMR videos. Okay. And stuff like that. Yeah. Ronnie, what? We have been here for 1 hour and 19 minutes. Where have you been, sir?
How are you feeling, Ronnie?
Yeah, that was my next question. Father, guys, exactly. There is somebody in that empty closet. I don't know what it is. And my feet have to be covered because somebody about to grab them. I don't care who it is. Hi, Sam from Wyoming.
What's up, Sam?
It can be overwhelming. It can. Ronnie, look, we had technical difficulties. Okay, I had to delete 2 feeds before we got on this one. But we have been live for 1 hour and 19 minutes.
We've been live, baby.
We're getting ready to wrap it up. Sean is not attacking anybody's methodology behind investigating. He's not saying there is a right way or a wrong way to paranormal investigate. But what he is saying is he's agreeing with Ronnie Anderson. Unless he sees it with his own 2 eyes or hears it with his own 2 ears, he can't 100% rely on it solely as evidence verbalized. Okay. And none of us can. If we're working a case that we have to present to the homeowner, or we're working a case that we're logging for evidence and we don't have anything to log, then at that point it becomes just a cool experience versus evidence. Okay. He's not saying that if you ran up and was like, yo, like the psycho, like dead patient on the 4th floor just shoved me like a quarter of a mile down the hallway. Like and this is somebody that literally I've been investigating with for 16 years. He is going to say, oh shit, that's crazy. Let's go check it out. He's not going to be like, bullshit. You didn't get shoved down no hallway. You're
Actually,
full of
what's my first
shit.
question going to be? Mike tells me that.
Oh, did somebody get it on camera or did you get it on camera? That's going to be his first question. So it's just like with my REM pod sequence that I got. My reaction was gold. Like, if I never even got it on camera and it was just audio, like it was gold because I literally started yelling. The other person that was with me started yelling, and we both were like, did that just fucking happen? Like, what happened? Right. So that's, either way, guys, in conclusion, paranormal investigating does have to have a copious dose of fun involved in it because otherwise it becomes a job and nobody likes going to work. All right. I mean, some people might, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No experts in the field. Everybody has opinions. You can get pissed about it. F them. All right, Father Geist, we will have to get in contact with each other because I'm looking for investigators and other creators to collab with. Badlands told me about y'all, and I enjoyed this very much. Oh my God, Cody, thanks for shouting us out and bringing us a new follower. You're awesome. Absolutely. We collab with anybody. All right. So I was going to say at least once. There are some people that I choose not to collab with again.
If it's twice, that means I like you.
But if we collab more than once. Either way, we are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m., 8:07 if Courtney has anything to do with it, because apparently I don't know how to work a computer tonight. So 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday, right here, YouTube and Facebook. And also, if you guys have not gotten an opportunity to check out our TikTok, we are at Hill City Ghosts, plural, and our newest launch, www.hillcityafterdark.com. That is our new spiritual protection and grounding series that we have come out with, including black salt. We've got it on the go. We've got bigger bottles. We've got infused oils, lavender oil, beard balm for the fellas, beard oil for the fellas. And I think you might be incorporating our furry friends soon. So there's your little teaser, guys. So definitely check out the website. Make sure you enter your email on the bottom for our latest updates and newest drops. That's getting updated constantly. Father Guy said he's been modding for me for a while. He's a great guy. Dude, Cody's the bomb. Bottom line, paranormal doesn't scare me. People do.
Amen.
Amy, amen. Okay. Ronnie said they don't like to work with me. Who doesn't like to work with you, Ronnie?
Ronnie, you're hard to work with.
Yeah. Unruly. I'm just kidding. We love Ronnie, guys. And if you haven't gotten your tickets to Enigma Cons, it is in April. Go to enigmacons.com. Tickets are now what? Live, baby.
Live?
Okay.
Baby.
And also the second annual Creep It Real Festival, June 20th, Evansburg, Pennsylvania. That is free. Free to the public, guys. It's put on by the lovely owners of the Doss House in memory of her late mother, Holly. And it is just going to be a phenomenal time. Para-unity all day.
Great events coming up, y'all.
Yep. So make sure if you don't like us, if you don't like us, oh well, sorry for you. You're missing out.
If you don't like it, no.
But follow, share, subscribe. Until next time, guys, I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
And we'll see you on the other side.